Alright, welcome back to Power Breakfast, and of course this segment, Inspirational Monday, is all about kickstarting your week in the right way, and who better to help us do that, as always, Dr. Wale Akinyemi. Welcome.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Alright. That's an inside joke, but anyway, let's, something interesting, and like you're saying, we're talking about your book Drive, and that's one of my favorite reads.
Say that again.
Your book Drive is one of my favorite reads. So, in the book, and this is something that came out as there's always you talk about jack of all trades, master of none. But then there's also what I've been talking about ever since we began the show, is about my little thing.
Yes.
And there are people who are focused on, quote unquote, their big thing, that they forget their little thing. Tell us about that principle.
All right, everybody has that little thing. I think it was the late Professor Wangari Maathai that, said it so well, that everybody has their own thing, and her little thing is planting trees.
Right.
And the problem is that a lot of people, they esteem what other people have and despise what they have, and that's why they struggle. Once I identify my little thing, and then I put all my energy and all my effort in my little thing, when that happens, my little thing will lead me to big places. My little thing will lead me to big things. People ask me, Wale, what's your little thing? My little thing, funny enough, is writing.
Right.
And I remember many years ago when I was in primary school, and we had an essay competition, and I wrote, and my teacher said to me, if you continue writing like this, one day you will get paid for writing. And that's it. When I'm upset, I write. When I'm happy, I write. I keep journals. So what that did, now let me tell you how my little thing led me to bigger things. So I remember there was a time when I had all these ideas in my head, and there was nobody who was ready to listen to me. I didn't have a platform. I was a nobody in the scheme of things, but my little thing. So I began to send out emails to people. Just put these ideas, began to send out emails, and one of those emails landed in the box of someone who has really helped me in forming my career in this country. This was many years ago. He was then the principal of the HR college. His name is Samson Osero. And one of those emails that I've been writing, got to him. Apparently he liked it. Not long after, he became the executive director of the Institute for Human Resource Management. And he was going to have his first conference as the executive director, and he asked that I come and speak. So when I spoke there, one thing led to another, and that's what led people to see that, oh, this guy is a consultant, he has ideas that can help the organization, blah blah blah. But it all started with my little thing, writing. And that opened doors. I've written for newspapers, I've written for magazines, I've written 15 books. Then next year I began to write speeches for people, and so on and so forth. But it's always been my little thing. So
then how does somebody identify the little thing? How do I know that this is my little thing, this is, for lack of a better word, my medium thing, and this is my big thing? How do I identify it and then narrow it down?
I think people, there are different categories of people. There are those who take a simple thing and complicate it. There are those who take a complex thing and complicate it further. Right. Then there are those who take a complex thing and simplify it.
Right.
I want to simplify it. It's not rocket science. Everybody has what I call a flow. Right. Your natural flow. All right? And when you identify your natural flow, these are things that come to you easy to do. These are things that maybe other people have spent money learning how to do, but for you it comes naturally. These are things that when you do it, people celebrate it. People pray. Everybody loves to be praised, and there's something you do and people look at it and they say, wow, and you are thinking, duh, that was not difficult, there was no effort in that. So what is it? The natural flow. What is the area where people praise you? Then there is another one that I thought of the other day. I call it the propensity to grasp. What do I mean by the propensity to grasp? It is that thing that when a whole bunch of you can be there and you grasp it faster than other people. You just have this ability to grasp in that area. You know, when you identify those areas. And another thing, what are you critical about? Because we are likely to be more critical in the area of our flow. You know, and so when you, and that's not rocket science, it's so simple. And you find out that this simple principle is what it works for individuals, it works for even organizations, it works for nations. I've consulted for over 20 countries. Anyway, and one of the things I've seen, if you look at different countries, you find out that each country that has done great things, they identified their little thing. If it is in electronics, you know, I remember when we were younger, made in Japan, the Sanyo, Panasonic, all these things, they focus, and then of course the cars. Now, Japan is not going to get into a show on fashion. No, leave that to Paris, leave that to Italy, and to France. You understand what I'm saying? So nations, even nations that focus on their little thing, identify it and put all your energy in your little thing, and you find out that when you do that, it now leads you into bigger things. You know, I think that's very, very important.
Right. And also just a reminder of viewers, if you have any questions, views, and comments, you can use our hashtag Power Breakfast. You can tag at Citizen TV Kenya, at Willis Oburu, at Wale Akinyemi on Twitter, and also you can text us on 22422. We'll try to get a sample of some of that as well, so you can send those to us. And then also, just now that, so you've identified your little thing from your story, you said yes, you identified it, you know it. That's good. But you went the next step. You started actionable things. You sent out emails. So for somebody who is saying, okay, Dr. Wale, I know my little thing, I know I'm good at this is a thing I can do easily, but then how do I market myself about my little thing?
All right, fantastic. You know, every gift comes raw. Okay, I am sure there are people under the bridge in Lagos, or people playing in Madari, some of my kids in Madari, who can play absolutely wonderful football, but they have just not been packaged. Okay, so when I discover my little thing, if it, you know, start where you are. I see people come and say, oh, I want to do business, and so I need X amount of money and all that. And let me tell you how I then got into consulting also, apart from this little thing. I realized that, hey, this thing can open bigger doors for me. So what I did, I remember I went, this was even before I came to Kenya, I went into some companies abroad and offered my services for free. You see, they said to me, oh, we don't have a budget. And I said, you know what I need right now is I need people to know what I can do. So I offered myself for free. And I said, let me just do stuff. You know what, after a while, when I began to do things for them and they began to see the results, then they began to offer me money for it. You see, I think the big challenge, Willis, is that a lot of people put money before credibility. They put money, you want to be paid for something we don't know you can do. Alright? Prove yourself first with that little thing. I have volunteered before, you know, just so that people can see what I can do. When I was writing emails, those days there was no WhatsApp, you know, email was the platform. I was sending out emails because that's what I could do. You see, we need to identify the easiest point of entry. You know, the easiest point of entry was, and there's something I developed which I think really, really helps, and it will help somebody listening to me right now or watching me. Make a list of all the things you can do. Okay? All the things you can do naturally. I can talk, I can play the keyboard, I can write, I can just make a list of all those things. Then the next column, so these are your ability, The next column, I call it your possibility. So, with playing the keyboard ability, what are the possibilities? I can be a church keyboardist, I can be a studio session man, I can be, so I write all the possibilities. Talking, what are the possibilities? I can be a preacher, a politician. That's terrible, you put those two together. A preacher, a politician, I can be an MC, I can be you put it together. Writing, I can be a blogger, I can be, you know, I can submit articles to newspapers, I can write stuff on emails, I can do all that. Now, so when you've done ability, possibility, then you are going to be faced with a problem most people don't know they will ever be faced with. You realize that there is more. You have so many options now. So the next column is what I call the lowest point of entry. You know, easiest level of implementation. So I take right, politician, MC. No, right is I can be a columnist. I can be. So I look at that, and I now look at what is the easiest point of entry, the thing that I can step in where the gift is the capital. Okay? So I enter into that, and that's what I did. I did not need any money, any capital to be writing things and sending them out. All right? And I did this for somebody outside the country. He was looking for work, and I said, what is your little thing? He said, I love teaching. I love sharing. I said, what do you teach? He told me, and I said, okay, you know what you're going to do? I said, what's the, so you've done the ability, you've done the possibility, what's the easiest point of entry? I said, you're not getting a job? Okay, fantastic, create a job. I said, you put out an ad. Every parent is looking for someone who can help their children get better in mathematics. I said, so why don't you put out posters and whatever you can, you know, or send out stuff that you can offer mathematics tutorials, blah, blah, and you will come to their house, to their homes. So he did that. He began to go to their homes. As he was doing so well, and the children were now excelling, guess what? Parents began to talk to each other. After a while, he realized he could no more just keep it up going to their homes. So what did he do? He now had money, rented a floor in a building, and asked the parents to now bring the children to him. Now, before you know what was happening, that began to happen. He now hired other people. Guess what? Today he has a school. It all starts with my little thing. What is that little thing? Identify the ability, identify the possibilities, and identify the lowest level of implementation.
All right, there's a question here from his name is Samuel Brady. He's watching from Busia, and he's saying that he's basically saying he's been an intern. If I'm trying to paraphrase because his grammar, he's been an intern. Sorry, Samuel. He's been an intern, but he's saying the internship is not paid for. So what does he do? Does he continue being an intern, or does he quit? I guess he's basically asking about his value. Like, you know, I mean, he's been doing this for a while, but when is it time to say, okay?
Remember last week, Willis, or was it the week before, when we talked about the Picasso?
Yes, that was the week before.
The week before, we talked about the Picasso, and I said, I asked people, how much will you pay for this painting? And people offered 2,000 shillings.
Right.
That was the highest I got. And I said something. Not everybody will appreciate the value of a Picasso. That Picasso was sold for $106 million.
Right.
Not everybody will appreciate the Picasso. So one of the things you need to do, gravitate to where you are celebrated, not where you are tolerated. Because not everybody is going to appreciate what you have. You know, I have seen people, you know, and at the beginning, it might be difficult, but you know what? When you're in a place for a while, you will know if they appreciate you or if they just see you as somebody they can use. All right?
Right.
And that's very important.
Right. And also, you know, just picking up on that, you know, there's also, it could be that it's from his side in terms of him being an intern, they're not seeing his value, but there's also from the organizational point of view, and there's something we developed called the organizational drive index.
Yes.
And how can it help?
I developed this to Well, let me give you background. In 2011, I developed something for the Institute of Human Resource Management called the HR Index.
Okay.
To look at the proficiency of HR in organizations. Then I later on developed another tool called the Y Gap, called the Y Generation Alignment Program, because I saw that in organizations, the people that make decisions are many times a different generation from the people that execute the decisions. So there's a disconnect. But I now looked at something recently, you know, and that's where, after I wrote the book Drive, I now looked at Drive for organizations. And I looked at the fact that I was working for a particular organization, and they wanted to motivate their team, and they had all these fantastic retirement benefits and all these things, and it was not working. So interacted with some of their employees, and the employees said, what will motivate us? TGIF, Carnival, once a month, we're good. Just take us to Carnival, we drink beer once a month, we're good. They did that, and their performance, you know, that quarter jumped by 70%.
Wow.
Now, so what was going to drive them was a fraction of what the organization was ready to pay for. You know, so we cannot, as organizations, assume we know what is going to drive people. So I developed this index. There's a survey we do with organizations to help look at what we look at the demographics, you look at the background, you look at demographics, the background, you look at a whole bunch of things, the working environment, and then you now find out what exactly drives people in this organization. All right, and so that's what we developed. I'm having a organizational drive, a whole day workshop for organizations to teach how they can do that, and then we have a survey conducted in their companies. Because a lot of people are working on assumption. Yeah,
they don't know exactly.
They don't know exactly what it is. There was another company I was working for. They realized that young people love to put headphones when they're working, so they love music. So when they saw that, these guys at the top said, if they like music, then let us pipe music around the place. Now, the young people were listening to Justin Bieber and, you know, and Beyonce and all these guys, you know. The people that were making the decision were listening to Jim Reeves. So they piped Jim Reeves for people who wanted to listen to hip-hop.
Justin Bieber and hip-hop.
You know, so in the organization, you can't make the assumption, you know. So we have to be able to measure with scientific accuracy what drives people here.
There's something that you mentioned that I want to take you back to, because that happens a lot, is that there is that gap where the decision makers and the people who are going to implement, you said, are not necessarily on the same page.
Yes.
So in such an instance, because then, you know, even people who, like you said, have their little thing, you know, won't be recognized as quickly. People who are Picassos,
yes,
will not be recognized, because, and then it creates a situation where this gift, this value will be shipped to another organization. So what can organizations do to kind of bridge that?
That is simple. Call Wale.
Holla at your boy.
But seriously, what we do is that we actually kind of bring them together.
Yeah.
You know, because many times the problem is communication. Bill Gates wrote a book called Business at the Speed of Thought. And he said one of the indices of measuring how effective an organization is, he said every organization has a should have a digital nervous system. So if something hits you on your toe, it gets to your brain immediately. So he said one of the indices for measurement is how fast bad news gets from the bottom to the top.
So that's,
and so creating that information superhighway for organizations is part of what I do. Creating that information superhighway so that everybody's voice is being heard and interpreted accurately. So it's not a case of we want music and we want hip hop and you are giving us Jim Reeves or whatever. And it's not that it's not good. And like I said, this little thing, you said, talked about this Picasso thing. Everybody is a Picasso. You just need to find that group of people that appreciate your Picasso-ness. See how creative I am.
I see it.
Picasso-ness.
Picasso-ness. All right, we have Mtive or MTEV saying improve yourself with your little, don't put money before credibility. I guess he's quoting what you said. Lele Kiplagat says good day to you. And then we also have up here Felix Murungi or Murungi Felix says thanks Doc for inspiring many. How can I get in touch with you? That's what he says. Felix Murungi.
Well, I'm very easy to find. Dr. Wale Akinyemi resource page on Facebook is my platform where I put up articles all the time and all that. That's where you can also get a copy of the book that Willis has said is one of his best reads.
One of my best reads, yes.
That's where you can get it. Drive. It's an e-book because I want people to be able to. Most people spend, a lot of people spend more time on their phones than on any other thing.
Guilty.
So I wrote a book for people who love to be on their phone, so they can read it on their phone. So that's why it's an ebook.
Right.
Yes.
All right. So it's important you can go ahead and get that ebook, so they can get the information on Wale.
They can get the information on the page. Yes.
Right. Now, maybe your final comments, because there's a lot of people who are watching. Maybe you can, as always, I always like you to speak directly to them. Those who are watching, there are three categories I'd like you to address. There's one who is still looking for that little thing. There is another who has found that little thing, but doesn't know what to do with it, and you've talked a little bit about that. But the third person is those people who do not know their value, because I believe that for you to even start the journey to discover a little thing, you have to know that you have value. So I'd like you to talk to them as well.
One of the easiest ways I found out, there's a story in the Bible of a man called David who was up against Goliath. And when he stood up against Goliath, what he said, I have killed a lion, I have killed a deer. Goliath shall be like the lion and the bear. Everybody has a lion and bear story, and that is your little thing. You see, the day maybe you cooked and everybody ate your food and they said, oh, this is fantastic. The day you make people laugh, like people like Willis can make you laugh in their sleep. Think back at those areas of your life where people have complimented you and the compliments come effortlessly. That's your lion, that's your bear. Now, that is the same thing you now need to focus on. Focus on it with everything you have. Because the truth is, they may not appreciate you now, but I guarantee you, if you continue with that little thing, but take note of it. That's what you need to do today. Look back. What's my lion? What's my bear? What are the things people have complimented me on? You focus on that. Alright? And then you begin to build more on that. A day will come, you will certainly discover people begin to identify you with that. And then when people want, and that's the important thing about staying in the minds of people. Facebook, social media has made it easy for you to sell yourself. Go there, open a Facebook page, look until you are ready to make a fool of yourself. People will not take you seriously. That is so important. Go out there. Some people will like it, some people will laugh at you, some people will just ignore it. But you continue there. Don't be like the preacher who preached to 1,000 people. One person, 999 people said it's fantastic. One person said it's rubbish. And that person doesn't come to church next week. You now go to church the following week and you say you're very upset. You forget the 999 and you're focusing on the one. And you say some people, they are saying bad things about me. Oga, the people are no more with you. It was one person. So identify that. And I think I said here once, identify the difference between criticism and feedback. Critics just want to put you down for the sake of they are anointed, they are gifted at putting people down. Feedback, that is when people give you an option. People say, that was okay, but why don't you try this? Why don't you do this? Now, I give more airtime to feedback than to just empty criticism of people who are criticizing me and they have not done anything worth criticizing themselves.
Right.
So that's what I want to encourage anybody, that you are a Picasso to someone. You have a lion and a bear story, and if you can remember and focus on your lion and bear stories, your Goliath will come down.
Yep, there you have it. It is a wonderful always on Monday here with Dr. Wale Akinyemi. It is at Wale Akinyemi on Twitter, Wale Akinyemi resource page on Facebook, And of course, thank you so much for making time for us. All right, so of course, coming up next is Citizen Extra. Don't go too far. The hashtag to use from now is Citizen Extra on behalf of Fred Indimoli and Jeremy Dengu, who is holidaying somewhere. Have yourself a wonderful day.